Okay, good day, everyone. And today we finally get into the section three, and I will introduce the simple and the multiple regressions. First of all, we will use the relationship between two variables. For example, the domestic box office and the word of mouth. And I will use this data to investigate the word of mouth effect. And I'm wondering that word of mouth balance and the word of mouth balance have a word of mouth effect on the box office. So what will we do for? And we collect the data as we have introduced the box office and the word of mouth balance and some critical data for professional critiques. And we defined the dependent variable as the domestic box office. And the main independent variable is the word of mouth balance. Of course, you can add it some control variables, and we will introduce later. Okay, in regression, we click the button statistic, and you will see there are a linear model and related, and we can choose the linear regression. Then the windows will pop up and choose the dependent variables box office and the independent variables word of mouth balance, and you can click OK. You will see. Also, you can type the regress box office. The first one is dependent variable, and the second one is word of mouth balance. Yeah, and you can see the same results. And there are tables here. The first one is the source from sum of square from regression and sum of square from residuals, and this is total sum of square. And you can see the observation here, 855, and the F statistic is 2.52. And the probability of the F value, the and the square, the R square, just R square here. And this one is the coefficient, and you can see the word of mouth balance is almost statistic significant at the 10% confidence intervals, but it's still not significant here. And the coefficient is about 2 million, right? 2.56 million. Yeah. Okay, this is the results. The first one, F statistic, we can get the 2.52, which means that model is statistically significant. So this is the diagonal statistics. And the R square is approximate zero point 0.3, is very low, a little bit low. And the T statistic is 1.59. And statistical insignificant, almost significant at 10% confidence intervals. And this one is the investigation that regression coefficient for word of mouth is insignificant, different from zero. Okay, and the coefficient balance 2 million to 0.56 million, as I said. Okay, and then the second one, I will introduce the comment that predict variable. If you want to predict y hat according to the beta thing plus beta 1 xi, okay, and this y hat can be predicted by the predict comment. For example, we can create a new variable named fv forecasted value. Okay, the first one, after we regress the simple regression, and you can choose the Windows statistic and click. You can see at the bottom there are post as post estimation comment, and click. You can see here predict, and there are standard errors, the average statistic, distance statistic, etc., and the launch. Okay, here is the pop out windows, and then a new variable, and you can give any, yeah, anything you like. Here is the forecastic value, and produce the process. You can use the linear production XP. Okay, and you can click OK. You will see this is also available, or you can type the predict FV command XB, yeah, in the command window. Okay, there will be a 1120 missing values generated. Okay, when you finish the predict value, how can you see, or you can check in your data? But if the data is too big and you cannot see all of them, you can use the list. We have taught this command list, and you can click the data, and the data describe data. Here is a list of data, remember? And as you can see, the windows pop out and list the value of the variables as you want. For example, the box office, and the new variable you create, stochastic variable. Okay, and you click OK. And we want to compare some of the observations. So we extract the use of range of observation from 1 to 10. We can compare these 10 observations only. There won't be too many variables in your windows. Yeah, this one is the original data, and this one is the regression. Dependent variable is box office, and the independent variable is word of mouth balance. And then you use the box office hat predict word of mouth balance to predict the box office, and you can see the uh, forecastic value. Okay, and you only list the first 10 observations and compare the data. And you will see that this one, for example, the first one is 700 millions, and the forecastic value is 15.1 million. Okay, and how can we see two variables? Okay, the trend for two variables. If you want to see the fitted value or predicted value, and see the trend between two variables, x and y. Okay, you can use the observation to fit it, or to approach the relation between x and y. So for example, we use the box office and the predictor or independent variable word of mouth balance to predict the trend for two variables. Okay, first of all, we choose the graph, and then we use the two-way graph scattered line. Click here, and you can see a window pops up, the two variable graph. Here we can create the first series. Okay, like this, create the first one, and you choose the scatter, and you can see the dependent variable y and the independent variable, you can choose the box office. And see the difference here is that the unit for the 10 million, because if the y is too large, you cannot see clearly. So we can reduce the variable divided by the same unit. And the x variable, we choose the word of mouth balance. Okay, and we accept the setting. That will generate the first one plot one, and the dependent variable will be box office in 10 million, and the independent variable is the word of mouth balance. Okay, and submit. You can see the original data here, and it will um, just plot the original data, every observations here. X is the word of mouth balance, and Y is the box office in 10 millions. Okay, so we can add the fitted value to see what is the trend here. Okay, so we combine the scatter with linear fit. This one is L is linear fit to show the scatter with fitted values. First of all, we create here and fit plot with a linear prediction. Okay, so we create another plot type. Y is the same and X is the same. Word of mouth balance. Y is the box office in 10 millions, and we click accept. Okay, we can see a new variable, new series plot here, and we submit. It will generate a red line, red fitted value here. Okay, as you can see. So we can see the clear trend when the word of mouth volume increase, the box office will increase. Okay. Oh, after that, if you want to mark some label in your observation, you can use the M label. M label means the command to mark to label data points. Okay, so we can see the number. For example, the one outlier is reviewed as a balance 88. So the 88 will be excluded, and we want to mark some like this. First of all, we edit the plot one. Plot one is the original data. Remember this. Now, the original data here. So plot one will mark, and we edit. Click OK. Then you will see the mark property, and you click mark property here. Okay, and click accept here. And they'll have some choose some box here, and the variable critique balance, and the label color default is the black one, and we click accept. You can see and submit. You can see every observation is marked. Okay, with their word of mouth balance. Okay, finally, we introduce the multiple regression here, and we simply introduce the um, dependent variable and dependent variable for the multiple independent variable regressions. And we will introduce after the simple one. Okay, today we will introduce the simple version. First of all, we can use the regression and the dependent variable and the independent variable x1, x2, da da da. Okay, at the central. Here we include the word of mouth balance and word of mouth volume, and the critique review balance and critique review volume. We also include the in movies general restriction for general audience, parents guide under 30 years old, and restrict under 18. Okay. Okay. First of all, we find the statistic and the linear model and related. Okay. Find the regression. We can choose here, as we say before. Here is the box office and the independent variable, Ullman's valence volume, and the critical valence volume, and the general parent guide and restriction. So the base is parent guide under 6. Okay. Okay. Here is the treatment of constant. You can suppress the constant, or has use applied constant, or you can use sum of square with constant advance. Yeah, here. Okay, we click OK, and then you can see regress and y and x1, x2, x3. Okay, this is multiple regression here. When we explain the data, we will see the R square is improved, right? It's 38% about. And the F statistic is significant for that is means that the regression is statistical significant to explain. Okay, here is the box office dependent variable. The significant value, this one, critical volume, and this one, critical valence, and this one, restriction. Okay, here is the simple version of multiple regression. Thank you for your attention.